tonight in Italy and today in Canada. She's directly from Italy. Is the soprano Capucine Chiaudani. By the way, I'm Don
Capucine. Capucine, it's a French name.
Ah, it's Capucine.
The French name. Yes, Italian cannot speak it correctly, so I'm used, don't worry.
Okay, cool. So Capucine Chiaudani, a soprano from Italy. You saw it just there. She's ready to talk to us about her career, her technique, and all this kind of things. I'm Adrian from la Scena musicale. En français pour le monde francophone, bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue ce matin à une autre émission de la chaîne à tête à tête.
Allô, allô?
Hein?
Allô, allô?
Allô, allô. Voilà, c'était Capucine Chiaudani, soprano italienne qui vient nous rejoindre aujourd'hui pour discuter de chant. Elle enseigne surtout en ce moment, puis elle a eu une carrière pas mal importante en Europe pendant des années. Alors voilà, on aura cette discussion aujourd'hui. J'entends un peu d'écho, je ne sais pas si l'audio est correct.
Window, maybe it's a bit of noise here. Okay, maybe better.
Donc, yes, we'll start right away. Before starting, I would like you to know all the socials for Capucine. It's you have the bel canto for you. You for those in the chat. I'm pretty sure you can see it there right now. The links. Also, I invite you to visit myscena.org. That's what I work. And you have a lot of articles related to music, to opera, to jazz, to orchestras. So that's the link there is www.myscena.org. I also invite you to subscribe to the podcast of this program. It's available on iTunes. It's available on Spotify, etc. For the people who like more the audio way of doing. I prefer myself podcasts. I like it more. It's more like, I don't know, there's something special to just hearing and imagining the people. So without another thing, if you have any questions for Capucine, please write it in the chat there of La Scena Musicale or Don Adriano. I can see your questions, and if I think it's relevant, I'll ask to Capucine if she wants to answer some of them. If you have questions for me, I'll try that too. But I mean, today is really about Capucine. So without further ado, let's go with Capucine Chiaudani directly from Italy. Hello.
Genoa, from the city of Paganini.
The city of
Columbus. Here I am. Yes.
How are you this morning? Well, this morning for Canada, this afternoon.
Afternoon. Here it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Very very hot. 40 degrees Celsius.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, summer, but also blue sky. Also nice. That's okay.
Great.
And
well.
it's fine.
And listen, you've been very busy. Finally, was it a busy day already today?
Well, I had some few students online from the other side of the ocean, from Florida, for example, and yes, from USA. Well, yes, I was already busy. Yes, while you were sleeping.
I slept really bad, I have to tell you, because my neighbors, they have a balcony it goes directly, all they say and everything I can hear clearly from my window, because their balcony is beside my window. So I'm kind of going crazy, drinking my third coffee in 1 hour, So excuse me if I have any memory slip or anything like that. And yesterday, talking about busy, yesterday I understand you had you launched your first webinar. Is it that right?
No, it's not my first. Actually, it's my third.
Third. Oh my God. Okay.
No, because last week I had a webinar about breath support, about clearing a bit of confusions and a bit of misconceptions about this so important topic. There is so much confusion out there. So well, I was also not better than others. When I was a bit younger, I had to struggle also a lot with this kind of confusion. So for me, it was important to go straight to the point. And in my private musical group, Bel Canto for You, I asked a bit to the members, yes, what is the topic that, yes, you would like to focus on, and which worries most? And 99.9% answered the breast support. So that was very easy. And 1 week ago, I spoke about that, and it was interesting. It was a sort of lecture, and then also a middle part of practical work, and then questions. But at the end, and it was 3 hours webinar, so it was not 3 minutes, but at the end, what the feedback was, can you give us, please, more clear, easy maneuvers and examples? How to do that? So I understand, okay, they understand it here, but they don't feel it there in the body. So yesterday I did a workshop. Yes, it was very practical with a short introduction, a short summary again, and in 2 words in a sort of espresso coffee cup, and then straight to the work. And we worked, yes, more than 1 hour with 1.5 hours with 7 participants, really on very, very simple, elementary, clear maneuvers to feel it, to find it, to understand what is it about.
Great.
So that was yesterday. Yes.
All right.
Period.
And when is the next one, and how can people participate in this?
Next one is...
I want to participate.
Next one is next week, but I will be present, and this is not online. I will be 1 week in Germany at the Opernakademie Schloss Helfenfeld. It's near Nuremberg, not far from Munich, and with the beautiful pianist Janet Witter, who is American. We will have 1 week course in presence. Woo! We are very happy about that. We were a bit unsure for this special situation of the COVID, but at the end, yes, we will do that. So this is my next project, and after that, I will see to do something again online, I think. Yes.
Okay. So keep me posted about that one.
Yes.
Are your webinars available after you do them, or on?
Well, the thing is, I didn't think about it, but I had so many requests about participants. Can we see it again? Is there a replay? Yes or no? So I managed to organize it, and I'm managing to organizing this. So there is a lot of work also afterwards. But some are already online. Yes, the first 2 webinars about athletes of the voice, and also is coming soon online. And for sure, online there is the one about the breath support. You can find it and see the replay. So if you want to know more, all the links and the informations are inside of my musical group, Bel Canto for You. You are welcome. It's just a group of musicians, mostly singers, even very important singers, actually. There are
really
few, really. Wow, I'm very honored. And we just share this common passion, nothing more, nothing less. So, and I keep them posted and informed of what's going on.
Great. Well, listen, I wanted to maybe, after this, start with a little bit, if you could take us with you through the journey of how you became the singer Capucine, like how you started, and then what were the steps, the important steps in your career towards being a professional singer, and after now when you're deciding more to teach, could you maybe trace a chemin?
Itinerary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I was always very musical from child on, so I was the one. In 5 minutes, if you would give me an instrument in the hand, I would immediately in 5 minutes play it. Like,
oh my God.
So it was something very natural and very, very, a second nature. I must say that because you asked me what brought you to this, I was 7 years old. And I had a fantastic teacher. Sometimes we have teachers in our life who make a difference, and who really make a difference, and who really bring us to be the person who we will become as adults. And this happened to me in the ground school. I had a teacher who was himself, so he was teaching us mathematics and languages and etc. But he was a tenor. And he was a musician, and he had a beautiful voice. And every morning we started school singing. He had a guitar in the corner.
Wow, that's
And this
so
was
cool.
the start of the day. We never started at school without singing. He played even the guitar, and he had this wonderful voice. And this really brought me in paradise. I was so taken. And one day I was 7. He brought the Prokofiev Peter and the Wolf. And he showed us this wonderful masterpiece to teach us the different instruments of the orchestra. And I know, because it is clear for me, like as if it would happened yesterday, that I thought, oh my God, what a joy, this music. I was in France. I was really in a such completely different level. And I remember that I said to myself, I will be a musician. I don't want to do anything else.
At 7.
No. Yes, you know when children say, I will be a doctor.
Yeah,
I will
a firefighter.
a baker, I will be a postman. And I said, I will be a musician. And that was the moment. And I love this teacher and bring him in my heart forever, because he was one who created my destiny. I'm sure about this. He was also the first who discovered my voice. I was in the choir of the school, and he always put me in the front. Always put me in the front. I never asked that, but then I understood why me, and why always me. And why is it so easy? Things that for others happen with more effort. So I understood, is it that I'm more talented? And so this consciousness came slowly in my head. And so this is a bit what happened to me, slowly, step by step. And I started actually singing in operas as a child in my native town, Genoa. I suggest to every parent to do that. It is an experience which has no price for a child to be. Sometimes there are opera houses which need children for.
That's it's an easy thing to do.
Yes, I mean, if a child is musical, why not? They make a little audition, and then you can sing in the little choir for Bohème, for Carmen, for Tosca. There are many operas, Werther, and it's really an experience that changes your life, that opens your mind. So I started like that.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was a bit my path, and playing different instruments, of course, until I had to choose. Somehow you can't do everything. And I thought, but maybe the voice, it was always with me since childhood. And so at a certain age, I started to study seriously at the Conservatorio in Italy. At that time, today there were conservatories. Now it's at the university level. And so I started, and I started my career as professional choir singer.
Okay, yeah.
I was in the choir of the Arena of Verona.
Okay. Like choir opera singer.
Yeah, the big Arena of Verona has, of course, its own orchestra and its own choir and its own ballet. I was a really member of the staff. I was also, before the big fire, I knew the real old Teatro La Fenice.
Wow.
I worked there. Yes, I'm a bit older than you.
I didn't say it.
And I was also in Bologna, Teatro Comunale, and these were fantastic years, because when you work at a high level with bravi maestri, good maestros of choir, and of course we made fantastic productions, you really learn a lot. And from there, the step was then to try the solist career. I went to Zurich at the Opernstudio Zurich.
It's really cool.
And from there, slowly things started to move. People started to watch, to recognize me, to invite me. And of course, all the itinerary of the audition started to go here and there, traveling for finding agents and possibilities to be heard. And especially, I started, to be honest, in Italy, but because I speak German very well,
Okay.
yes, I made the German school in Genoa. And so I grew up with two languages, bilingual, and everyone told me, well, the real market is in Germany, and it was true. Still nowadays, it's like this. There are almost 100 theaters in Italy, almost 10, something like that. This is the proportion.
Yeah.
I, speaking so well German, I went there, and I had a quite important career with big roles, of course, primary roles. And this is the story.
And then at what point you decided to because I understand today you're not active anymore as a singer. You're really into teaching. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes. Well, at the moment, I'm more focused on that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there were some few things. Sometime life jumps in and change your plans. And this is what happened to me unexpectedly. I was actually in the middle of my career and singing also important things. And well, I had some surprises. Let's say I had to go through very heavy chemotherapies.
Oh my God. Okay.
And make really stop, and that had also a big impact on my voice, of course.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had to focus on something else.
Yes.
I'm still here, so it was not my time. But of course, it's a tough world. When you go out, it's like Olympia Games level. And either you play and either you run or either you're out. And to get in again, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
It's very competitive world, of course. Others come and take your place. So it was not easy. Actually, I managed to go back on stage.
Okay.
I managed to start all over again, the whole itinerary. But it was tough. And so at a certain moment, I focused more on teaching because this experience actually taught me a lot. Because through this very strong therapies, I lost completely my voice.
Completely.
Yes, I had two notes, F and G.
F and in the middle.
And that's it.
Wow.
After that, I sang Tosca, Wham, Giaci, Don Giovanni, così fan tu. After that. So from very high to very low, it was really not an easy obstacle.
So but you got back. So is there something?
I learned to rebuild a voice.
Yeah. How was that?
Well, with a lot of passion and a lot of patience. And this taught me that wonders are possible. This taught me how to help others.
Yeah.
This taught me how our body functions. This taught me immensely a lot. And today I am a very humble person, to be honest, just to be clear. If there is an anti-diva, that's me. I'm absolutely not that kind of person. But many persons tell me, and this is the honest truth, you're so clear, you're so direct, and it's so easy to understand. You're understandable. And I'm so happy to hear that. It's the best compliment because this is really what I aim for. When I was younger, I struggled. I struggled really to understand. It was not an easy path. It was like very confusing and a lot of time, a lot of money traveling through the world looking for the perfect teacher with the perfect answers. And time consuming, energy consuming, dream consuming. At a certain moment you think, well, there will be never an answer somehow. and you lose hope. And I didn't want this for the younger generation. So for me, it's really important to give hope, but especially give clarity. So I try to be as clear as possible in my teaching.
Yeah. Well,
Here.
well, that's clear to me, at least in the videos I've watched. Like I was telling you before, yesterday I went on a how you call it, on a binge on a Capucine videos binge. So I kind of work. I watched over 5 hours, I think, and but yeah, I think it was really clear.
Hero, you are a hero.
I know it was really. I'm a geek about voice technique, and I really want to understand what the great singers do, and I mean it wasn't like an effort or anything. So and the thing that came to me, I guess I had some questions about that. Is I liked a lot how you explain support. So I guess I'm gonna ask you for maybe the 10th or 12 times in the week to explain the auditors, and I'm pretty sure there's many singers watching this. What is support to you, and how a singer supports the voice?
Well, okay. Let's start to make it very super cup of espresso coffee, because otherwise we need 3 hours at
Yeah,
least.
I understand that.
So, well, support is the word says, support. I support this, right? I sustain this, okay? I carry it, yes? So what do we sustain? What do we carry? What do we help? Yeah? Our instrument, our voice, our larynx, the work, yeah? So how do we do it? So this word, breath support, how it is constructed, this definition creates a lot of confusion, because a person thinks, okay, support is this, breath is that. I need to make to sing better. Clear? This is what people think, and even professionals, and it's not about that. So the definition itself creates confusions. Actually, maybe the most better, clearer definition could be breath control, breath management, because it's not about pushing breath. No. If we want to say it in one word, it's about resistance. Resistance. So resisting breath, and not pushing breath.
And a question about that resisting. I'm just guessing here, and I'm just provoking a little bit the conversation. But resisting means that naturally, a lot of voice students or even professionals, we want to push the breath by nature. Like we think that we're gonna get the note easier if you just push the breath instead of like it's an unnatural movement in a way. Is it?
So, yes and no. Okay? I will explain it better, because we have to understand it here first of all, and then in the body. Yes. Okay. We need breath, of course, to survive. First of all, to speak and to sing, and because in classical singing, we get the main difference is about the length, no? To be able to make long notes, long phrases. Of course, we need more breath. This is without saying. This is obvious. This is clear. But this is clear also. Do we also always need 120% of our breath capacity? Is it true? I mean, for make a vocalize, do we need to do this as if we would start to sing the whole Aida? No.
That's what most do.
The point is that, as classical singers or opera singers, we think, okay, this is serious. This is serious now, huh? Okay, so come on, let's be serious. Wow, and let's go. And this is 120% of my lung capacity. It's too much. So we have to understand that we have to regulate it. If we make 2 notes, or if I make 5 notes, or if I make a long cadenza, it has to be differently distributed. Yes. So the question is not how much breath we need, but how little breath we need. Why? Because I will go straight to the point. If we take a lot of air, we can immediately make this little experiment together online. Now, live with me.
Okay.
Super easy, 5 seconds.
Right.
Okay? We start immediately with practical exercises. So you take a nice breath, really. Now I sing the Aida. And then you close the vocal folds.
What exploded?
It's like, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And you feel all these molecules of air, like little hooligans, coming here against your vocal folds, which function like a valve, which function like a door. These little molecules of hooligans air, really like a tempest, really making pressure. And you are there and trying to do the best of what you can. And you have a lot of worries. Where is the conductor? I don't see. Where is my handset? And the text. And you have still to fight this tsunami of air coming. Yeah. It's not possible. It's such a stress. You know, the most people who have nodules, edems, breaks, problems, breathy sound, are not because they breathe too little, because they have a lack of air, but because they have actually an excess, too much. And this fight is so tiring and not healthy, actually dangerous. So what happens if we now make another experiment of 5 seconds and we breathe a bit more normally, calmly? What happens? And we close the vocal folds so that we feel it, not just understand it in the brain, but we feel it. Yeah. Okay.
I was trying to.
and we close the vocal folds. Okay. So. You can hold it. You don't have to fight. You don't have a tsunami of molecules of air pressing and pushing.
Okay, question about that. I feel like I have to push something inside myself to be able to hold it.
Yeah. Wait, we're coming there. We're coming there. You're a bit too fast. So this was just, we're coming there. I will answer to your question in a moment. So this was just to explain or to make you feel. Otherwise, these are words. You have to feel it, to understand something. You have to say, oh yes, it's true. I feel it. Then it's true. The difference about too much air or a normal quantity of air. What happens when we breathe too much? It seems crazy, but it's not. It's like, it's a physical thing. If you breathe too much air, this air, at the moment of the exhalation, will increase in speed. It goes faster also away, like when you fill a balloon.
Yeah.
And then again, and then it's not enough. Again, and you're not satisfied. And again, when you let it go, it's gone. In a split of a second on a tree, you don't see it. It's gone. It becomes like a space shuttle. So the speed of exhalation increases. If you take the same balloon and you make it just like that, a bit less, normal. Okay? So this is what I mean with excess of pressure. It can be dangerous. Of course, I'm not saying that we don't have to breathe. I don't say this. I say we have to breathe enough. Point. Enough. Short sentence, short breath. Short vocalize, short breath, please. Long cadenza, other story. But usually it's a bit complex. We have made about with this thing of the breath is sort of monster of the monster of the breath that we are so scared that we overbreathe. We overbreathe and we overwork. 80%, 85% of the time. This is
Wow.
one of the most big problems about the singers. Very often we have tend to pay a trainer, a teacher, 35 lessons to teach us to breathe less and to solve a problem that we created. Okay, set this. Let's say that we understood it. We are genius. We don't overbreathe anymore. We don't overwork anymore. Of course, we need the support. Of course, we need the help. This remains true. This has to be there. But is it really about that? Are we sure? Yes? Really? Sure. Maybe yes, maybe not. There is a component of course, of breath, of air, okay, in the right proportion, and a big component of muscular sustain. We have to think as sportlers of the voice, as athletes of the voice, understand which muscles we need to engage. This will give us the breath support, which is not pushing air, but it's controlling air. And what I said at the start, otherwise it's not clear because I did not explain it. I want to explain what I meant by saying resisting the air. Yeah, I said this at the start. What is it? What does it mean? Resist what? What do you resist? Well, we are always very focused about the breath from this direction upwards, right? Okay, what am I doing here? What should I do? How should I support? Oh my God. Well, let's change perspective. Let's come from here and look downwards like a camera. Are we resisting the air? Are we really closing well? How is our reduction? Remember, a clean, clear tone, rich, intense tone comes from the source. How you actually close well or not well here. Very
You
important.
mean close the vocal cords?
The adduction, yes, is really essential. Our onset, how we close. If you are a bit, how can I say, too supple in the compression of your vocal cords, yeah, and the adduction is a bit lazy, a bit, a bit supple, the breath support will not solve it. You will support a breathy sound.
Yeah.
And make it even worse. No, we need to focus first of all, how is that action? So the breath is actually adjusting itself on what the breath will encounter on its way out. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a valve, really, like turning the water on, kind of.
Yes, that action is so super important,
Then why, my question to you, why there's so many detractors from that? Like, I've seen so many teachers that are against any type of glottal activity. It has to be flowy and all this.
Let's clear this. First of all, we have three answers. One is the aspirate. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
Hi. What is this? It's air before, hi, before the closure. Okay, very nice. Maybe for jets, not for opera. Okay, well, this is one way. Then what we actually use in opera are two way of using the onset. It's the very gentle one. It is the simultaneous one. So we find it when we say, for example, yesterday. This means the closure finds the breath at the same time.
Yeah.
Very gentle, and this is actually the ideal one. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful. If you can do it, why not? Welcome. Yes. But I want to say, yes, of course, it's very elegant, very gentle, and very safe and healthy. But I want to say something. Okay, super glottal, like sometimes German like to do. Well, my God, a bit, a bit aggressive. I understand, and I think that it's okay to say, maybe not. But hold on, we speak with actually baby glottal all the day, 7 days a week. When
Yes.
when I say to you, ah, how nice to see you. Oh, finally. What did I do? Ah,
Yeah.
how nice to see you. Oh, what is this? It's baby glottal. Gently,
Mm-hmm.
kind. And I speak like this, I mean, really, all the day and all the week and all the year. And do I have problems with it? No.
No.
So, and we use baby glottal. Oh, we use it very often to give a little accents or to be very clear on an attacco. The secret is to do it in a kind, gentle, really baby way, and not pushing, not pressing, not being aggressive, not fighting the voice. This is not okay. So also that in that sense there are.
So I guess there's two spectrums. I guess by what you're explaining, there's people that are singing. Well, there's three, I guess.
There are not people who are singing. We use all this spectrum. We can change. We're like painters. We have a lot of colors in our voices, depending on the aria, depending on the drama, or if it is a comic, or if it is dramatic. And we should use all this and knowing how to do it and isolate it and be able to master it and say, well, I'm like a painter.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Had 35 red colors and 17 yellow. Is it
So it's
right?
a matter. It's a matter of art too. What you choose to do.
These are tools that you should not be afraid of, but in the contrary, be thankful that we have them and knowing this is the point, how to use them in a selective way.
I have a question for you. In my experience, sopranos tend to have an easier path to doing glottals in the high voice than the rest. Let's say the rest, meaning male voices like baritones and tenors. I see rarely a baritone, attacking a high G with a glottal. Like if you isolate the exercise, it kind of doesn't work. Has that been your experience also?
I can't tell you this. I didn't notice this. What I can tell you is that, because you mentioned baritones, they might have problems up there, but not with the glottal, but with the range, because how can I say? Such a voice sometimes might have troubles to change from a thick fold to a thin fold. This is another story.
Okay, so
it's about something else.
Okay, it's not about the attacco.
No, it's about then the mass, how you manage to go to the higher register. Of course, to go to a higher register, you have to be aware of what is going in your in your instrument. You have to understand that you need to change the mass of your vocal folds. They have to become thinner. And you need to help them to do this. So there is this maneuver of the lowering the larynx and vasculating it also. So it's a bit like, wait, I take this to make it more clearer as possible. So it's like lowering and tilting and vasculating. So this becomes thinner, like the thin fold chords in a violin and a guitar. And sometimes heavy voices, big voices, heavy voices, low voices have troubles to do this. So they have troubles up. I think this is the main point. To have the courage and to allow, let's say, to the vocal folds to change shape. A big voice, a loud voice, a low voice sometimes has difficulty to go up because there is really an anatomical change that has to happen, and sometimes it does not happen. So what they need to do is to learn to tilt, which is not always easy. Sopranos in this are a bit more blessed, certainly. And what can help might be to think of crying.
Okay.
Oh my God! Look, I show you. I hope that you can see it for the light. Oh, you see?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Actually,
Yes.
it's very.
It lowers, huh? Really
Yeah.
clearly. Oh, and if I put a finger, I can even feel that it makes a sort of whoop,
Yeah.
little movement. So let me see if it's true. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. In my case, it's very true because I'm
Okay.
trained. And if this might be unfamiliar, it's just sometimes also a matter of repeating it. Everyone can learn it. Oh my God. Oh, yes. And this, this sort of lamentation you hear, this helps you to go up.
Okay. No matter, and the guys, the male
Sometimes
singers
they
would
have
be doing
problems
it
with
in
it.
chest voice, I guess. Like, oh
Yeah,
my God, like that. Kind of.
sometimes they go up. How can I say it? Well,
Because
vocal
we have
cord.
the falsetto thing, you know.
No. I'm speaking about real voice.
Yeah. Okay.
First of all, men in general have a lot of testosterone and a lot of whoa. Yes, I'm the man of the situation. So they're not used to approach the voice in a gentle way. They think,
Yeah.
let's go to make a bit of fitness, you know, and there is
Right.
too much energy, too much, and this uh, gets in the voice. You will have to understand that the voice is a mirror. It's a mirror of a muscular activity. It's not only a conception that we have in our inner ear, in our brain. Okay, it's also that, because if we cannot imagine a sound, you cannot produce that sound. So let's be clear, you need to have it here in your imagination, in your fantasy, in your inner ear. You have to have heard it somewhere to be able to reproduce it. Like the way we speak. Why do you speak the language that you speak, French or English? Why do I speak Italian? Because I heard it 1,000 times, million times from my mother, even not knowing how the grammar, the verbs, the adjectives, the articles worked. I learned it because I heard it. So we need to have it in our inner ear, the sound, to be able to reproduce it. So this is one thing. But remember that it is also not just a result of our imagination, it is a result of our muscular activity. So if your muscular activity is too, this is the sound you will get. You will never be able to make a supple sound. And to get to this tilting thing, because we are speaking about this now, we need to understand that vocal folds are muscles, and we need to let them to surrender a bit. If there is too much work, difficult.
And okay, one point that you mentioned, that you have to be hear it in to hear it in your head. I guess maybe there's a bit of difficulty there too, because I mean, when you hear, I don't know, a Franco Corelli, a Mario del Monaco, I don't know, even Pavarotti, it's a very virile, it's a very masculine sound when they sing. Even the high C sometimes sounds. So I guess if you hear that in your head, you might be thinking, I have to like give it just like them, you know.
Yes. Of course, I understand everything. Understand. And of course, we learn a lot also copying, like in art. I mean, Michelangelo, Raffaello, Leonardo, they were not born out of the blue from Venus. They had also other big maestri examples, which they copied somehow. So we look at Callas, we look at Mirella Freni, we listen, and we try to somehow go in that direction. And this is okay, and this is fine. The thing is, we have to understand and respect this and accept this, that our body, our teeth, our face, our bones, our spaces are unique. Yeah. So the face of Pavarotti was a singer face. He was very open here. The bones, the teeth, how do you say this?
The front.
Yes.
So
and so you have to do, I think, the best of what you can do with what Mother Nature gave you, with what your father, your mother, your grandfather, or God or nature gave you. Of course, we have these examples, yes. But this is also why there are voices so extremely different, which is nice. My God, I'm very happy about that. So no face is, every face is unique. No face can be cloned. We are all unique, right? And voice is the same. So we have one breath support system, and it works normally in one way, but of course the results can be different depending on our spaces, the length of our neck, for example, and the velum. It's a bit difficult, you understand, to aim for only one sound. I think we should try to become the best version of ourselves.
All right, that's great advice. Listen, Capucine, I thought about putting some examples of you singing also, so people can really see how you are in stage, and maybe after I see that we've got some questions there in the chat, I think. So leaving some time for people to put their questions, and then we'll come back and have a little bit more of a talk.
Okay.
So I thought about playing the Bici d'Arte from Tosca. Yeah. You want to say something about this role before we play it?
Well, it's the dream role for a singer, because I think everyone knows the Tosca role, but if some of you do not know it, it's the story of a singer, of an opera singer. So of an opera singer, well, hello, that's me. And then Italian, hello, that's me. And very beautiful, hello, that's me. No, I'm joking. But well, it's it's very easy to identify yourself, and there is a lot of love and passion, and so it takes place in Rome. So well, it's a bit the dream role of every singer. So I was very grateful, very happy to have.
Do you remember how many Toscas you sang?
No, a lot.
All right, so let's jump with that. By the way, for the people who don't know, Giacomo Puccini, it's one of his most famous, I would say the most famous, maybe. Yes, so it's Tosca.
And if you come to Italy, hopefully soon, after this COVID period, and you want to know more about Giacomo Puccini, please come to Tuscany, one of the most beautiful region, I would say, not of Italy, but on the planet.
Yeah.
And go to the little town of Lucca, not far from Florence, actually, really 15 minutes near, where he was born. And there is his house in the center of Lucca. And it's a beautiful museum. There is the piano on which he composed the Turandot. But
really?
Really. But the piano on which he composed Tosca, you can find it in his villa outside the city, in the location of Tower del Lago, of the lake. This is the name of this village, on a lake. So it's a beautiful villa still there. And actually the maestro is there in the villa because one room was completely covered by marble, and that became the grave of Giacomo Puccini, Elvira, the wife, the son, and other two family members. So he's in the house, and when you enter,
the
first thing that you see is the piano on which he composed Tosca, and many other details of him. It's really very emotional. You think, well, maybe he went out to buy the newspaper and he comes back. Everything is there.
Wow.
It's really amazing. Yeah.
I think I'll be scared to go there.
His dresses, his books, everything is there, and you can really feel him.
Yeah.
In Torre del Lago. Yeah. Go there.
Oh, I'm scared. I think he will get mad with me for singing badly some of these arias.
Well, in the summer, if you come to the summer, there is also a very prestigious festival, the Festival Pucciniano, where they just perform Puccini operas in Torre del Lago.
In Torre del Lago, yeah, I didn't know.
This villa, okay, just to say two words about him.
Wow, that's great. Well, great for singers and for any tourists. Really, advice by Capucine. So let's go right now. I'll take my technician then to play that beautiful Vici d'arte interpretation by Capucine Chiaudani, soprano, and now teacher also.
Here I am back.
Brava!
Thank you, thank you.
Wait. I'm trying to come back here.
Yes.
Oh, great. Hey, thanks. Magnifique.
Yes, but I'm not magnifique. Puccini is magnifique.
No, but your interpretation also.
Yeah.
So, Capucine, so we have one of your students here that would like to make some live questions, actually. So I was wondering, you think we can let her in now?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So here is one of her students is Palombi. By the name of Palombi. Athena, there you go.
One of the most beautiful ladies on the planet, Athena. As the name says.
Good morning.
Hello, Athena. Hi,
Good
Dim.
morning from California.
Hi. Ciao.
Hi, you're from California. Great, great. Well, international here, huh?
See.
Great. So yes, listen. I wanted to the people to be able to make some questions. So it's your time.
Capucine, I would like to ask a question in more detail about your philosophy of vocal pedagogy.
Yes. Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, yes, I would like to be able to bring out the best versions of yourself, the best version of every one of you, the best version of my students. And I believe really that a good teacher is also a mental trainer. I strongly believe this because I saw it, because I was there, because the mind is even more important of our body. I must say, I was there. I was one of the runner in these Olympia Games, and the one who won were not always the best singer. They were the best minds. It's exactly like for athletes, and the athletes do have mental coach. Why should we not also have mental coach? I don't understand this. And for me, it's really something missing. Something. It's a big hole in conservatories, academies, universities. I think for the next generation, we should give to singers also this strength. Some time we go out there, we make our studies, our diploma, we know how to use the body, blah 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 blah. Everything is fine. Then we go out there and tough reality jumps in. Life jumps in. You are there and you are completely unprepared. How managing stage fright, for example? How managing the stress, the competition? How managing all this kind of life where you are constantly under exam, actually, and where you have to prove how good you are, and you're alone. No one helps you. No one takes you by hand. So a teacher needs to, in this very moment, until we will not have a mental coach in conservatories and academy, have the role to make you very, very, very strong. I notice that the more I say to a person, wow, well done, this is so good what you're doing, it's so amazing, fantastic, this person elevates to another level, even if maybe in that very moment it was not so perfect, but believing that you are able to do it makes it possible. We have examples of persons with handicaps, without legs, without arms, which did incredible things. And people said, you can't do this. And they did it. Why? Because they were strong here. So to make a career, you need to be an athlete at many levels. You need to know your body, every centimeter, like a violinist knows his or her instrument. Yes, and you need to be very strong here. So going back to my philosophy, to empower the person in front of me at every possible level, And the more they are strong here, the more they will be the best versions of themselves, for sure. Yeah? Is it answered or not? Silence.
Well, I didn't put the question, so I. Do you hear us?
Athena, that was the answer for your question, yeah? I absolutely think that you do empower your students and support them very much. I think you're a wonderful teacher in this way on empowering everyone at every level. Another question I would like to ask you is your advice on the audition process and aria selection and auditions.
Well, the thing is, in auditions, we are usually under such a stress, adrenaline situation, which is completely normal. It happens to everyone. So, welcome to the boat. So we have to go really very, very sure, like blind, like under an automatic pilot, under the shower. So what I suggest, what I advise, do something where you feel really very, very at ease. Don't take risks in audition. Maybe you can take risks in a concert. Maybe you can take risks in another event. But an audition is, of course, something that should bring you a job. So to survive. And yes, we have to go with very sure arias, things that we have already tried and tried again and again. Of course, there are exceptions. Sometimes that's clear. We have to audition for a new role. So there is no escape. We have to do it, and we do it. But I mean, in this kind of auditions where you can choose the areas, of course, I kindly and warmly recommend to do things that you already tried more than once, or where you feel very, very at ease.
Can you speak a little bit about like contrasting arias in the selection that you choose?
Okay, you meant this. Yes, but this is what, without saying, excuse me, then I didn't get the whole answer. Yes. Different languages, different styles. You need to show how good you are in different, of course, ways. I mean, show all your possibilities. So if you have one legato aria, take another aria with maybe coloraturas, no? If you have one Italian, take one in English or German, French. So different styles, different also, how do you say, time zones, I think historical, so that you really show, if it's not, I mean, an audition for a specific role, then it's another thing. Then usually you have to bring the role or the main arias. Yeah, Tena.
Yeah.
Happy?
All right. Well, thanks a lot to Athena for taking the time come do some questions. I'm doing this every Zoom meeting that we have. I have 1 or 3 persons, depending, on how long it goes. If you want to, in the next edition of La Scena Tête à Tête, if you want to be there and ask some questions to my invites, you can send me an email to adrian@lascena.org. So that's Adrian, Adrian, @ Scena, like in Italian, La Scena, LASCENA.org. So thanks, Athena, and good luck with your career.
Thank you.
So, Capucine, so a lot of things came there from.
Yes.
You've been repeating this quite a bit, so I'm going to ask a question about this, about the athlete of the voice. You saying this all the time, and I wonder, is that an actual just like a metaphor, or do you also mean that a singer must be in shape, like a muscular?
It's not a metaphor. It's not a metaphor. It's really well known that an opera performer can be absolutely compared to an Olympic athlete. The effort is so big, and it's not only physically, also mentally, the concentration. So it's not a metaphor. And apart from that, the thing is this. I think a lot of confusion comes from the fact that not always singers are really aware or, let's say, conscious what happens really in their body or how the body functions. Yes, I mean, you don't need to be a doctor and know that this muscles has this name and there is on the left. It's not about that. It's I'm not speaking about this, but having at least an idea what happens with my velum, and can I isolate it, and how many ways of using my velum are there? What happens if it is up to my sound? What happens if it is down? What happens if it is in the middle position? And which impact does it have? What happens if I use my lips or if I don't use them? Do I use them? How much do I use them? Does it have an impact? I mean, I see very often persons coming to me very confused because they never took the time to really understand that really they are like a violin with made of many elements, and you can isolate these elements. You can really isolate and get different results if you recognize them, and if you take the time, the skill to be able to train them in isolation. What happens with my tongue? What is the best position of my tongue? How should it be? Low, high, flat? How is it? And why? All these things. There are so many things. What happens with my larynx? Does it go up? Does it go down? Does it do this or that? Is it true? Is it not true? There is not really consciousness about sometimes, I mean, not always, but very often, a lot of talent, a lot of wow musicality, and little consciousness about the fact that we are a living instrument and that we need to know the parts of our instrument, like a lutist, which who creates the violin, no? The more you know about this, what happens in my head? Is my head involved in singing? Or is it just there to resonate? Or does it work? Does it have a role in singing? Are here muscles which are actually sustaining my voice? Yes or no? Most of the people don't even know it. The answer is yes. And are here muscles in the neck which help me and stabilize maybe my velum, maybe my pharynx, maybe my larynx? Is it true? Most of people don't know this. But when I was younger and singing in career, I also was one of these singers, singing with talent, singing with musicality, singing with instinct, and with very little consciousness, awareness of this. This was a path that I went through later when I started to teach, and they said, well, should I do it seriously, honestly, consciously, with responsibility? Then I have to know more. I cannot just say, well, try to imitate this wonderful round sound. Do you like it? Okay, do it. I should say, listen, if you use these muscles in this way, this will happen. Why don't we try? And it starts to make a sense. You think, oh, but then it's like a recipe? What? I mean, if I put a bit more of this element and a bit of less of that element, then I get to that result or to another result. Yes, it is exactly like that. Chiaroscuro. What is chiaroscuro? Well, chiaroscuro is a bit singing, a bit light and a bit dark. No, it's not this. Anatomically, things happen in our instrument, and knowing what happens makes the difference. Not knowing.
A question about that is it aren't you afraid that by trying to separate all these things that the singing is going to be somewhat mechanical, and even that is makes the singer sing worse sometimes because they're saying, oh well, my palate is here and then I have to breathe and then making it maybe too complicated. It's just a question.
No, it's a good question. It's a very clever question, actually. Of course, you have to be careful, yes, to remain in the music, to remain, to not make it too mechanical. But I think a bit of consciousness, finding the balance, no? We are artists and keeping this artistry high as much as possible and making really music with passion and with heart. I mean, at the end of the story, if we go at the end of the book, we jump all 25 chapters and we go to the end. The happy end is to emotion people. This is the point. Basta. All the 25 chapters are just a path to arrive to this point. So if a person, as a singer, maybe with not a good technique, maybe making mistakes, can emotion me, I pay gratefully a ticket and even go a second time to listen to him. I don't care about perfection. Perfection is something that does not exist in this world, by the way. Maybe in recording studios. So I don't care about perfection. But yes, I would like to give to people around me, younger singers, a bit more serenity. I see many singers struggling because no one explained them how their body functions, and they have this fantastic talent and joy and wish to do things and let's go, wow. And then at a certain point, pah, no, the difficulty, but I'm always tired. But the voice is getting worse because I'm not sustaining well. I don't know what to do. My talent is not enough. So there must be a good balance, I think, about artistry and consciousness without making yourself crazy about knowing every detail. But I try to make it very simple, actually. I try to explain it in very clear, very easy, very clear, very simple elementary maneuvers. Yeah. Yesterday I did a workshop, and the examples who was there can say it were super simple, but straight to the point, to feel your body. Yeah.
So about the mental space type of coaching and what you were mentioning before. What is how would you recommend somebody that to deal with self-doubt? Because I think that's the main thing I see in many singers is the fact of self-doubting themselves and finding that they're not good enough and all that kind of things. How can a singer get over that? And is there a routine they can follow or some sort of mantra? I don't know.
Well, I don't believe in magician mantras and Ave Maria, piena di grazia.
You know, Corelli used to pray a lot for.
Yeah, no, and every path, every story is different. Very often we bring in our singing our personal story. This I believe. So sometimes our fears are really ancient fears of not being loved, of not being recognized, and not of being accepted from maybe our family or our parents. And you bring this in the singing. And I noticed that persons who are very relaxed on stage and very self-conscious, really like, I'm able to do this, had a good emotional support in the back. And mostly they were loved at home. So we are the mirror of this. And of course, it's a very deep difficult issue. You cannot, but you can help. You can help. So the teacher can help you to find more balance in this. Of course, which what will help also is to get good results. This will somehow give you confirmations. And I think to master well your art. If you know that you know, you know that you know. I mean, it's important to know that you know. But if you know that you don't know enough, well, So I think it's important to work in a conscious way. That was the thing about what we spoke before, to know your body well. In this sense, athlete of the voice, knowing the body, knowing how it functions. If I do this or that, if I push, what is the sustain? How do I do it?
Yeah, so far, if I can understand, by knowing more, you gain confidence, and therefore you clean up a little bit the mess in the head, those voices saying, "Oh, you cannot sing, you're gonna miss the high note," or whatever. Yeah.
And we started this meeting speaking about breath support. You asked me about breath support, but I was not finished. May I finish?
Actually, yes.
Or not, or is some other priorities? I think it's important to finish.
No, I agree with you. Yes.
Circle, because I started to a bit saying, well, let's try not to push too much breath. Let's try to learn to breathe just enough, what we need. That was what we said before. But how we should do it, we didn't say it, right?
No, so, actually, no, we didn't go there. Yeah,
it's important. So, of course, these are things that needs time. So you need time to make a singer and not 5 minutes. But
by the way, don't expect to learn how to sing just by listening to this. Just telling people, you know, some younger people, sometimes they believe in magic like that, but actually you need like lessons with the person.
Yes,
you know?
But just to give some direction, some advices, yes, simple things. Going back to the body and how our body functions, yes, to be a bit more aware. Well, we can, for example, watch here what happens in our body, for example, when we cry or when baby cries. When a baby cries, we can put this finger here in our navel and this here and just observe. This means let the body do the job. Don't interfere, don't do anything, just observe. What happens if I cry like a baby? Okay, let's see.
I'm watching closely.
Okay?
Yes.
I was not doing anything. This is absolutely my body. I was not pushing inside, outside, up, down, nothing. I'm looking. So what happens here, as you can see, this expands. This expands, you see it? And this slightly sort of goes in. Actually, it's not really in, it's more up. It's more this. So this is what the body does. And what the body does is always right. We are not interfering, we are not disturbing. So this is the appoggio. Appoggio in Italian means leaning, means I lean, I open. And this is my diaphragm is opening. Okay?
Yes.
Nice, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Diaphragm. And what happens here? Oh, interesting. Something completely different. And again, I'm not doing it. The body knows it better. It's helping. It's assisting. And this is the sostegno. So in Italian language, actually, because we are the most clever.
Yeah. That's such an Italian thing to say.
I'm talking. Come on. We have these two wonderful words. Actually, we do have a more clear definition, which is not just breast support. Boom. And this says a lot, but at the end it says nothing. Yes, breast support what? No, we have really two words, appoggio and sostegno.
Okay.
How we sing. We sing.
The first time I hear the sostegno.
Well,
in that sense.
It's time that you have to know this, because actually it's how we sing always. We need actually always these two energies, appoggio and sostegno. So this is very clear. It means that this wall, and now we get to the real important point. That's why I'm making this example, okay?
Yes.
This wall are the abs, okay? The abdominal muscles, okay? They are always with us. They are always working involuntarily. The body does it. This means that I don't need to do actually an extra I don't need to do don't need to push. I don't need to exaggerate and overwork. Why? Because that would be pushing too much breath pressure up to my vocal cords. Yes?
Right.
I let it happen. I allow my body to do the job, which is completely in balance. He knows it best, and he does it for me. So these are the assistants. And they are always with us. So this is the good news of the day. Now, the question is, okay, wonderful, said, but this is just crying. How do I do when I sing Scarpia, when I sing Tosca? How do I do this? And it is a legitimate question.
I would like to know how to sing Scarpia too.
Or long notes or high notes.
Yeah.
We need, of course, to increase the energy. This is without saying. And we need to do two main things. One is resisting the air. Resisting the air, we do it at two levels. One at the vocal folds level. This means with adduction, the first appoggio is here. If this is not in place, ciao, bye-bye, bye-bye. You will sing like, Michel, my bell. You will sing like this. If the adduction is not proper. So watch out, because this is the first valve. It's really, and there is a sort of appoggio. We also, resist the air here. And then the real big appoggio with the body is, of course, here. And it is resisting the air. So if I take the breath and I open my body when I inhale, when I sing, I should never do that. Never. If you do it, please, please, please believe me, it will not help you. Don't squeeze your body. Don't make this when you sing. Don't do this. But after that you have inhaled, remain in the inhaling gesture, please, and this is the solar plexus, yes? This is the bone. This
okay,
is
that's your solar plexus area. Okay, yes.
And here is now the solar plexus, and you just open it. And by using this sort of consonants, which make an obstacle with your teeth and with your lips, like z, or like z, or like z, what happens? This is the nice thing. You feel more your body.
Yeah,
you feel more your breath support system. Yeah. So why don't you use it to find it? If you don't know how to do it, you just. And of course, this involves the whole ring. Why? Well, because we should think three-dimensional, like a ring, okay? Like an umbrella that opens. When it opens, it opens. And when it closes, it's closed. It's one. It's the umbrella. Doesn't matter. Because also this is another question. Well, is it more in the front? Is it more in the back? Is it more on the right? Is it more on the left? No, it's opening or closing.
And you say nothing squeezes, but okay, one thing.
So we open when we inhale first, and when we sing, we stay and we go on. And this, the abdominal wall, will help. Actually, there is this movement inside my body because they assist automatically, exactly like when I was crying 2 minutes ago. It's like how do you say in English?
So that kind of tucks in.
It's a bit. This is sustaining.
Yeah, like
some people feel it here more inwards.
Yeah.
Some people feel it more outwards, but actually it's not in and not out. It's actually up. It's helping.
Yeah.
So, this is helping. This is sustaining, sostegno, and this is the appoggio. Yeah. And
so some people can actually, because that's actually a debate that goes on with some people, that some of them they say, yeah, you have to appoggio, but like out, like going out, and some people say in. So it's kind of, I guess it depends on how you feel it. Then it's not.
I
really...
know everything. I know everything. I know about this discussions.
Right.
Well, why don't you observe your body, and then you don't need to discuss anymore. I mean, you let it happen, and you see that when you breathe in, well, first of all, you open. Now, if I squeeze, okay, if I squeeze. It's gone. The air is gone. How can I sing long arias like in classical singing? This will be absolutely impossible. So I will now explain you why there is so much confusion. The confusion comes because of one thing, one point, and it is this one. I tell you now what. The confusion comes because at a certain moment, so we resist the air in the sense that we open here, clear? This happens also there, and this happens also here. So it's really everywhere, okay? This is open. This sustains a bit, this helps, okay? At a certain moment, for long notes or for long arias, we will feel, okay, nice, but now it's over. I need
more.
Some help.
Okay.
I have still 2 bars. How do I do this? God help me.
Yeah.
So what happens then, and this is mostly around the end of a phrase, after the first half, then, but only then, and not at the start of the sentence, we can voluntarily, and not involuntarily, voluntarily ask to the apps, okay, thank you, can now you really help me? And we squeeze them like a toothpasta. Here.
Okay.
So you open, you remain in the inhaling gesture. And at the very end, I helped because it was like, okay.
I need a little extra, yeah.
And this is the conception of big discussion and confusion. And actually, it's not necessary. If you know when to do it, actually, no one is right and no one is wrong. You have just to understand, okay, it's only a matter of understanding when to do it. Because if you do it too early, you have too much pressure. You have, okay, oh my God. And what happens, you know, when we push too much air, there is this problem. A lot of you, I'm sure, have experienced that. Our throat thinks, because it's intelligent and wants to protect us, okay, there is a problem, a danger, something not right, too much pressure, I close. So we feel like, oh my God, today nothing functions. I have to push my voice. What is it with my voice? I don't feel my voice. I'm not free. So I push more. And what does the larynx do? Okay, I squeeze more. I will protect you more. And this is a diabolic circle. So we go in constriction. If you go in constriction, this is something that every opera singer really has experienced it. Go in retraction. Open your vocal, your false vocal cords. What really closes are the false above the false vocal cords. Like when we make a heavy, when we take in the hand a heavy piano.
Yeah.
We squeeze and everything closes. Yeah, the false vocal cords close. So what helps is very easy maneuver, really super easy. Think about an inner smile. You can feel it even if you put one hand here and there. You can even feel it. It's rather clear. You smile inside as if you would see something very, very strange, comic on the street, and you make.
Oh yeah.
Tuck. It opens. Yeah. But before arriving to that, to have the need of making the retraction, please don't push. So avoid the problem at the start. So about the breath support, to find the breath support with such consonants like z, z, z. You can, for example, this was the workshop of yesterday, very simple things. Or a bit lower, doesn't matter. And you open, and you learn to open, and you learn to reprogram your muscular memory in that sense, opening your body. And then slowly, you can play with it with also the V of Venice, the J of jaune, and then you can connect it with a vowel. For example, and you open, and then third step, you make the legato. Same story, nothing changes. Always opening, yeah? So by doing this very simple things, you learn a new behavior, you really create a new muscular memory, and you realize, wow, it's not an impossible dream. It's possible, and it's even simple. Simple as that? What? Yes.
I had a question actually about that exercise that you're doing. Is your breath pressure equal in your consonant as in your vowel? Isn't there a difference between the...
It's a dynamic process, of course. It changes on behalf also on many factors.
Okay.
Consonants is one thing, vowels another thing. We open a lot, so to avoid that we maybe lose too much breath, we should actually focus a bit more. It's not sa. This is terribly dangerous. It's za, za. So I focus and I open only when needed. So the center of the voice, for example, I will not open so much. I will only open my higher register. Yeah. If I open a lot, I will actually sabotage all the good work I did here.
Yeah.
If I do the whole work wonderfully, properly, and then I just saw, it's gone. It's gone. So I have to be so intuitive to understand, wait a moment, I need to direct the sound. I need to give a shape to the sound, like the bed of a river. It's like the story which I mention always often. My students know it by heart by now. The tube in the garden. The more you have a big hole, the less pressure you have. The more little the hole is, the more pressure you get. So, and not so. So you have to be aware about these difficulties with open vowels. You have to be careful. A or E is more easy because it's less open. It's already easier. E, it's easier. Yeah? But of course, it's like having actually inside a sort of little computer that very intuitively, very fast, very change gear constantly and said, okay, I need more pressure. Wait, a bit less. It's something that we do actually instinctively. Depending also on the pitch, depending also on the volume, depending on the vowel, depending on which vowel, depending on the consonant, depending on which consonant, depending on the accents of the sentence. So there are many, variables.
So I guess you're talking here about the focus in the sound. Could you? I guess that's I guess we're running already a little bit off time, but if there's one point that I would like to touch with you also before we finish, is also your this focusing of the sound and what the Italians call squillo, the suono esquillante, which means ring in the voice or harmonics, rich harmonics. So could you tell us what that is and how you get that sound as a singer, and probably it's a different strategy. I don't know if for different singers, but
of course, this is exactly, now we come to the point about knowing your body. You said before, but maybe knowing too much, doesn't it make it a bit mechanical, you know? Yeah, you asked me this.
Yes.
With right. We always need, of course, at the end to be artists and musicians, of course. But well, a tiny bit of consciousness, it's not so bad. We can find a good balance between the two things, I think. Why not? For example, the recipe of opera or classical singing. Let's say opera, because there are many kind of classical singing. Opera is chiaroscuro. The word, this is very international. Actually, it is an Italian definition, which means light and dark. And with light, people usually feel this mask thing, this squillo. You hear the tenors in the theaters in the garderobe. Maestro, la voce, buongiorno. And they try it. They try to find it before the performance, right? I think you are a tenor yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of nya and that kind of
Yes.
But I actually don't think that's squillo. Actually, with the years, I learned that you really have to have the right combination, like you're saying, of chiaro and oscuro. I'm still working on that, and I find sometimes you can have this chiaro like but if you don't have like a body down inside that clarity, it kind of doesn't carry anyways. It's weird. I don't know if you experience this.
Well, listen, it will carry if it will be well grounded and well sustained. If you sing with your whole body, if you have really a deep connection here. By the way, I would like to say one thing which I did not say before, because there are so many things. When we want to have a real deep appoggio means really grounded, especially for jumps, especially for high notes or loud notes. For example, I don't know.
Yeah, like octave.
Yeah, so you can try it. I take just 1 minute, and then I come to the chiaroscuro again back. Just 1 minute. You can try it sitting. You can sit on yourself so that you can really feel your pelvis floor. Your pelvic floor is what sustains the torso. It's what you have really underneath the torso, which sustains you, and also between your legs. Okay, and please, can you really give a sort of energy downwards, weight towards the chair? What happens in my body is I'm opening but downwards. So I'm opening here, my back, where I have my hands, really where I have the kidneys here. I'm going down, but going down, I'm actually activating my pelvis floor. And this is the big, strong appoggio, which is very often needed in opera. You will feel it better if you sit. If you don't know how to do it and you sit, you will feel it, because you will feel it between the chair and the body. What I'm doing is opening here again, as I did 1 second ago.
Yeah.
The back. So by opening the back, the good news is that I will make shachmate to the diaphragm, because the diaphragm is bigger in the back.
Okay.
If you don't know it, you can see it on YouTube. There are so many videos. And here we have, 8 meters of intestine. This is not always diaphragm, but here, yes, we have the diaphragm really big, because the ribs go lower and arrive here.
Really low, yeah.
And the diaphragm is more developed there and is attached to the spine. And if I lower and if I open my back here, and if I make a pressure against my hand here, like this, it can be also mechanical, also without singing. Look, simple as that, super easy, super simple. What I'm also doing, I'm actually expanding and stretching my diaphragm. And I'm actually making shachmate. He cannot move again. He can't raise up. He can't jump up. So then I have that control on my diaphragm. Actually, we should say breath control. The breath management. We get this. And to feel it, so you can play with your back and just open it. Look, I'm not singing. I'm just opening. Simple as that. Not difficult. And if you sing, you will feel that the energy goes downwards to your
towards the chair.
Floor. really to the earth. This is what we mean when we say a very grounded sound.
Yeah.
This is what we mean. Grounded in that sense. The energy goes really to the ground of your body. Yeah? So that was just to finish. And for what concerns the chiaroscuro, it's really the recipe of opera. The recipe of opera is like a recipe in the kitchen. We need a bit of salt and a bit of sugar. We need a bit of chiaro, this clarity, this light, this squillo. Some may name it mask. And this scuro, this, very noble, this round sound, very elegant. So, the scuro comes from a lower larynx. Clear? Point.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, it is
like when you
like
when you go like this, for example.
When you, for example, cry a bit, or also when you laugh a bit, it goes down. Or also when you think about the U, I work a lot with the U position, and I put all the vowels in this wonderful vase of U, because the U does this wonder. This is the U. U. U.
Yeah, it's going down right away.
And we have the scuro. Simple as that. Is it difficult? Come on. Don't tell me that it's difficult. So if you know how to do it, it becomes like ta 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 ta. A strategy. These are maneuvers. But if you don't know how to do it, you struggle. You just don't know it. But for example, if instead of singing larynx is up, huh?
Yeah.
You do. There is a bit of oo in every sound. What happens? It happens automatically, if you want it or not, it happens that your larynx lowers. So your flute becomes longer. And the beautiful news of the day is that you will get much more harmonics and richer sound. Maybe you will think at the start, oh my God, but is this me? I mean, I was always singing, and now it's so round. Well, yes, it's the best version of you. Yes, which you don't know still. Yes. For classical singing, it's quite important. Maybe not always for other kind of singing, but for classical singing, it's this chiaroscuro. This was what we really need. And also another beautiful thing about the U, that if you do a real Italian, dark, nice U, which is not U, because Americans like to do U. No, thank you. U. It will.
I know all the bad tricks.
Yeah. It will also have an impact on your volume, which, well, this is maybe for another meeting. It will rise up. It will make this.
The U?
U.
I didn't think about that.
U, and you feel it. You can try it also
now. You feel
now.
Here. Yeah, you feel. It's like you open a door here kind of thing?
It has an impact, yes, on your velum. Your velum starts to, okay, good morning, and rises up. And also it has an impact on your pharynx. Your pharynx starts to stretch. Oh, interesting. And what happens then? It happens that your voice will be amplified. So with this beautiful U, you have so many advantages that I would suggest you to try it at least. If you're not used, at least try. Oh.
But there are some, I mean, just by personal experience, there are some dangers with the U too, is that if you don't do the proper U, the voice can actually kind of
no.
be muffled too. So, yeah.
Of course, no. It has to be in the balance because we're speaking about chiaroscuro.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not finished. You are making now a question where I'm not finished.
Sorry.
The balance, we need also the chiaro, which is this mask. A lot of people say, sing in the mask, feel the sound here, sing under behind your nose, sing here, right? Sing out of your eyes, because we have this perception. And it's okay that we have this perception, because we do have this perception. Point. The truth is that the mask does not happen here. It does not happen behind your eyes. It does not happen behind your nose. It does not happen here, even if you feel it there, which is okay. And so in the normal way of saying, we say, sing in the mask, and everyone understands it. What happens is something else, which happens here. The epiglottis is that sort of leaf that closes and opens when we drink and when we eat, otherwise we would just die. So thank you very much for the job. But apart from this closing completely, it has another function. It can also close partially. So when it closes partially, the spaces will be reduced and it starts to make this sound, this kind of sound. I'm American. A lot of Americans speak like this. I'm American. How are you? This is the epiglottis that does this movement. Or what can I say? Tell you, I'm the witch of Hansel and Gretel. This is here. It's not there, even if we feel it here. Huh? So the chiaroscuro, the mask, is produced at the level of the epiglottis, which does this little movement and creates this more narrow space. It's interesting to know. Well, it will not change your life, but it's not bad to know it. Better to know it than not to know it, I think. This is the consciousness of a singer. Yeah. And if you know it, you say, okay, so what now? Now that I know it, does it change my life? Well, if you know it, maybe you can do something with it. Well, you can start, for example, to take a sound and make a bit really ugly, the most ugly sound that you can do, please. It's not a real sound. It should be really with this sort of metal, almost disturbing, like, my God. And then you put the decoration of this lower larynx, of this space, of this, and then you will get the right recipe, the right amount of salt and the right amount of sugar in the recipe of opera. This is chiaroscuro. I'm American. How are you? I'm making this face, but I'm keeping the squillo. This is chiaroscuro.
Well, that's a really good explanation, I find. Yeah. Great. Well, listen, Capucine,
Capucine is a flower. It's a flower. And you are also French speaking, right?
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
Capucine.
It's funny that I said I have to be careful not to call her Capucine before because I say, in Italian is
Italy, no one knows how to say my name. So everyone tells me cappuccino since I'm a child. I'm used to.
Oh my God! Actually, I would, if you have 10 minutes, I would like just to acknowledge the chat there of the people that came to see you, and then tell you some of the comments maybe, and maybe I'll take maybe the two best questions that I see there, because otherwise we're gonna be here till tomorrow, and we can't unfortunately do that. Capucine is really busy, and I'm tired to be honest. So. I'll let me look at the chat and see even the comments. Some people just have some comments that they would like to share and to acknowledge them for coming today.
Thank you.
So let me go there. So we have Charles Broquiero, who came and see the chat. He said for him it's really difficult to do the U sound correctly. He's kind of a high type of baritone. I don't know. Well, try what she's saying. Try to think of a real Italian deep type of U, I guess. Athena says grazie Capucine. Vivian Janson Delorme also. Yeah, actually the people who heard you sang in the Tosca, a lot of bravas there. Bravo, bravissimo, beautiful voice. Okay, so yeah, Jakota. I don't know if you know Jakota, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was yesterday, I think, in the workshop.
Yeah, so she is also saying very beautiful about your Tosca.
Thank you.
Somebody also, Vivian just saw saying about Tosca, do you have brown eyes? Because you know the thing
Yes,
about
I
the
do.
eyes.
I do have them. I'm the right Tosca.
And yes, Lucine Postuma, hi from Holland, she's saying, or I don't know if that's I guess that's a woman, Lucine. She's saying hi from Holland and asking some, I guess she would like to have a kind of recommendation for you about what schedule. I'm guessing she's saying practice schedule, like a young singer should be following. I don't know if you want to answer that.
Well, of course, this depends a lot from our stamina and our condition, our age, and our health and experience. So there is not only one answer. For young persons, we should go slowly, depending on which age. I have some students, even 12, 14, 16. You cannot treat them like a woman of 30. And you cannot treat a beginner like a professional. So you have to be very delicate and careful. If someone is really at the start, maybe half an hour, why not 40 minutes, why not, depending, yeah. And when you feel that the stamina, the condition, it's like, I mean, jogging.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You cannot go out there and go for a maratona in one day. So you start with running around your house or in the garden, probably.
Typical mistake, and then you cannot run for 1 month.
No. And also very important, like in any sport, this is very important. We have to understand this. The body and the voice needs to recover. Very important. Let the cells, the body recover. Don't overwork. It's better to work often, little, than, okay, now today I have the weekend free and I go for it. 3 hours, you destroy your voice.
Yeah.
We are not an instrument.
A little question about that, actually. It's more of an opinion question. Like, I've seen the schedules of some stars like Jonas Kaufman, etc. And I really don't think it's a healthy schedule. Like, I don't understand how they can be singing one day in Germany and then next day at Metropolitan, or like 2 days after a Metropolitan Opera. Do you think the business of opera is not conscious enough of singers' voices, and what can they do to kind of give the necessary rest to their voice?
You're right. It is as you say. You know that at the time of Callas, yeah, they took, for example, the boat, the ship, not the boat, the ship.
Yeah,
and they really had to cross the ocean, and it took 3-4 weeks, and there were other company and the conductor. So very often Callas studied the roles with the conductor even on the ship, and it was like landing. Now it's very stressful and very competitive. Yeah, it's really brought to the limits, to the human limits. So at the end, it's very, very tough, especially here. You resist only if here you have iron nerves, because it is. I'm quite of the idea that it is a bit much. I don't know what there is. It's possible to do. Probably the stars at the high Liga should say, no, this is too much. We put limits. But if they don't do it because maybe they have too much pressure, I don't know, then imagine if younger singers can do it. It's impossible. But of course, we saw, I don't want to make names, it's not very kind, but also recently, I mean...
I named Jonas Kaufman because I know he's really busy.
Yeah, but I also can tell you that as him, there are few who lost completely the voice and had to go through 2-3 surgeries without making names. This is the price to pay. And some are stronger in the mind and even in the body. They are like blessed with iron vocal folds, and others not.
So you kind of have to know yourself to your
Yes,
limits.
I believe, yes, you have to protect yourself, and with a risk to say to lose some jobs, sometimes say no.
Yeah, well,
To give yourself the time, to recover, because we cannot replace the voice.
yeah. I think thanks so much for that advice, because I think a lot of young singers kind of are into the dilemma that if I don't do it now, then they're not gonna call me back, type of thing, and then my
Yes,
career
of
is gonna
course, for
suffer.
singers who are starting, the pressure is still different, because they want to prove themselves.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, yes. But yeah, you have to find the right balance. There is not one answer.
All right, great, Capucine. Well, very generous of you. Thanks a lot for tuning by. And I don't know if you have some last words that you would like
Yes.
to say.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, great.
Yes. I want to say one thing which is for me very important. And it is that we spoke about technique since almost 1.5 hours. But the main point about all this is to motion people, in my opinion. And to do this, we need to also put a lot of attention, I think, because we did not mention it, and it's really, really important, on the text. How we pronounce things, how we stress what we say, in which way we say it, where we do the accents, do we pronounce well the consonants. We have to learn to lengthen some vowels here and there. We have to respect, for example, the rhythm of the spoken language when we sing in Italian, or we have to respect the rhythm of the spoken language of the French language if we sing in a French opera. So take the time to do this, because we have a responsibility, which is not just singing well and showing how good we are. We have to bring people again in the theaters and not to the cinema.
Yeah, now even more with this.
Yes, now the responsibility grew even more. So it's very important to reach people and to be good communicators, and not only thinking about perfection. No. We need to reach them in an emotional way, being, of course, in the role, in the part, but really reaching people is possible through the text. They don't see what we think. Our emotion can, how can I say, materialize. Yeah, of course, with the colors that we use, like a painter in the voice, but also how we pronounce and say things, because we are not flutes. We are not instruments. We are not a clarinet. This is a very, very, very big responsibility. It's not enough to think about nice voices. We should think to be like Shakespearean actors who sing.
Yeah.
It's very important. And I can tell you, in Italy, when Giuseppe Di Stefano was already an old man,
yes.
The voice was not the one of his best years, but so the voice was a bit, well, as it is in an old man. Well, he had a way of saying things that reached the public, and the public just
went crazy.
They felt from the chair. They loved him. So it's not about perfection. It's about reaching people. It's very important, this.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because if there's a singer to mention in that way of touching, even when he didn't have the perfect technique at that point, it's really him. I can think of him. Yeah, it's a great example. I don't know if particularly I don't know for the people that is there watching, if you can find a recording of Lucia di la Memoria with De Stefano. I mean, anything really is great, but I think in Lucia you can really see I think a little bit of what Capucine is trying to tell us. And also, he did that tour, with the farewell tour with Maria Callas. That was extremely touching also, I find.
And also Maria Callas, we speak about her still now. I was thinking, some days ago that she does not even have a grave. You know this? Because her ashes were distributed in the agency, and we still speak about her. And we will always speak about her. Why? Because she left us such a big emotion that we can't erase that. And it was not only about perfection. Of course, she was a perfectionist, clear. She studied and was very serious and very professional. But she was not always perfect. She had not always perfect sounds. But she was very emotional. And what she did it with a text. Listen well how she pronounces things, where she stretches inside of a sentence, what and why. It's a big school. And this is the text. Very important element.
One little question before about this exactly. What do you think about sacrificing a little bit of the technique to bring the emotion? Is that something that you think an artist should allow themselves to go?
There are two answers. The first answer is yes, but the second answer is it's not necessary. And you know why? Because the good news of the day is that if you articulate better and pronounce better, you will feel better your body, you will connect better to your breath support system, and you will sing better. So it's a misconception to think, well, I make it very supple so that it really sounds like an angel. No, you will not sound like an angel. You will sound like a person who does not sustain your sound, because becoming too supple with addiction, you will lose the perception of your body. We said this before. I did. Zzz, 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 and this is how we sing. For example, it's l, 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 la, la. Più pianga. It's not. Out of the blue from Paradise. This is an unsustained sound. Maybe the first row will hear you. Wonderful. Yeah. Maybe if you have a microphone, then it's okay. But otherwise, you have a big problem. Why? Because you're not pronouncing sufficiently your text and your, especially, listen well, especially your consonants. This is sustained. Maybe when we are very near, maybe here I was actually a bit too near to the computer, it seemed a bit aggressive, but I can assure you that this works in a big hall, in a concert hall, in a theater. If you don't sustain it, and this means if you don't connect the diction, the pronunciation to your body, you have zero projection and you will have lots of problem. You will start to scream probably.
Yeah.
Pray God, help me. Send me a microphone.
Yeah.
Which will never arrive. So it's not really necessary to think, oh, for the diction I have to, no. The two things go together. We say in Italy there are many ways to go to Rome. So you can go to a good performance through a good technique, but also through the text. The two things come together. Actually, it's the same. They have to go together. The same pizza.
The same pizza. Great. Well, listen, this was Capucine Chiaudani. Finally, I said it correctly. And I'm Don Adriano, and thanks so much to Capucine today for this wonderful interview. Check her website out, capucinechiaudani.com, and she's very active on Facebook, social media, YouTube. You can find that out. It's Bel Canto for You.
Bel Canto for You is my private group that I recently created, so everyone is welcome. It's very easy. Bel Canto for, the number 4, for you. Ooh. You are very welcome. We are all musicians and singers, and we exchange thoughts about music and singing.
And well, she teaches also. So do you actually question about your teaching? Do you teach from far away? Like you have students from Like, for example, Athena, you teach her by Zoom or Skype? You do this kind of thing?
I teach every day to students, singers, professionals also, and beginners, any level, from each corner of the planet.
Okay, so if anybody's interested and it resounded
Zoom
with them.
It's wonderful. Messenger also, especially now with the COVID, this digital way of teaching, especially now, increased. And so next week I will be, as I said, may I repeat it, in Germany in presence for a course in presence. So yes, we've made it.
The first one after the COVID,
after the COVID, yes.
Oh wow, okay.
It's in Bayern. This is in the south of Germany, in the Opernakademie Schloss Henfenfeld. So very happy about this, but well, with this COVID time, many persons were looking for a guide, for guidance, for help, and I was very happy to help and to guide. And so my students increased from USA to Canada to Australia. Yeah, sometimes I teach in the night because there are 7, 8, 9 hours difference. But I'm very happy and glad to do this. Yes. So.
And you still do you still have some spots left for if new people want to come in? How does that work? They contact you?
They're quite full, but try. I will do my best to squeeze you in.
Okay, great.
It's the price of the success.
Yes. All right. Well, great. Excellent news for you. And again,
what I also do, which might help if you keep yourself informed. If you look either on my fan page, Bel Canto for You Vocal Coaching on Facebook, or if you join my private group where you are really warmly welcome, I will also post again and again my next webinars online. So this is also a way to know what I'm doing where, and and great. Also about the replay, I will then send a link where they are available to be seen again. And so certainly excellent. I will organize after this course in Germany other workshops, certainly. And I have some nice surprises, but I don't want to say it because it's a very, very nice idea. And so keep...
Okay, well, just keep me posted. I'll try to share it. I'll share it in the La Scena Musicale website.
Yeah, when I'm ready, I will tell you all the nice surprise. I'm thinking about it.
All right, great. All right, so thanks a lot, and I'm Don Adriano, and thanks for everybody watching all around the world. I think we had people from everywhere basically today, and
nice.
And yes, check out our website. We have actually Capucine. If you have 5 minutes at one point, it would be great if you could check our website, myscena.org, and we're doing a survey there to determine whether the people are ready to go see live shows and how would they feel comfortable about it. What we're trying to do there is to create a kind of publication where we try to guide the cultural companies to tell them, look, this is what people feel like they are safe with, and this are the dates where they feel comfortable going back to shows and all that kind of thing. So, if you have 3 minutes, it really takes to fill it up. You're welcome to go there, and anybody that's watching, it's very easy to fill out. It's www.myscena.org. You can also check our podcast. It's the same as we're doing here, but it's not live. And I sometimes reduce it or add a little bit of music, a little bit of rhythm. I like it a lot, I must say. And so that's this available on Spotify and on iTunes. Also, feel free to leave a donation if you love this program. You wanted to encourage journalism of arts. It's a really difficult career too, I have to say. Particularly now, we're depending on artists doing shows because we do publicity for them, and it's been really difficult. So any help would be appreciated. Thanks a lot again to Capucine Chiaudani,
Thank you.
And have a great day, everybody. See you.
Thank you to everyone.
Yes, see you around the other Wednesday, not this Wednesday, the other Wednesday. We're gonna be having an interview here. And yes, thanks a lot, and